Hey there, sunshine lovers! Today, we're gonna dive into a topic that's been creating quite a buzz in the health and wellness community: vitamin D3. Now, you might be thinking, vitamin D3, isn't that the sunshine vitamin? Why would I need to worry about that? Well, buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey that will shed some light on this essential nutrient. The sunshine vitamin, a brief overview. First off, let's get our facts straight. Vitamin D3, also known as cholecalciferol, is often referred to as the sunshine vitamin because our bodies produce it in response to sunlight. But here's the kicker: it's not really a vitamin at all. It's a hormone. And just like other hormones in our body, it plays a crucial role in many of our body's processes. The great vitamin D3 debate: how much is too much? Now onto the million-dollar question. What are the risks of taking 10,000 IUs of vitamin D3? Sounds like a lot, right? But is it really? To put things into perspective, 10,000 international units IU of vitamin D is equivalent to a mere 0.25 milligrams. That's right, not even a full milligram. The D3 Deficiency Dilemma. Despite the seemingly small amount, many health professionals argue that a large portion of us are deficient in vitamin D. The Recommended Dietary Allowances (RDAs) for vitamin D range from between 600 and 800 IU, a far cry from the 10,000 IU we're discussing. But these recommendations are based on outdated research focused on preventing bone loss, not taking into account the plethora of new information related to vitamin D's role in our immune system. The barriers to vitamin D3 absorption. So, you've heard the buzz about vitamin D3 and you're ready to jump on the bandwagon. You're thinking, I'll just catch some rays or munch on some vitamin D-rich foods and I'll be good to go, right? Well, hold on to your sun hats, because the journey to optimal vitamin D levels is a bit more complex than you might think. There are several hurdles to overcome when it comes to vitamin D absorption. Let's break them down one by one. First up, we have our good old friend, the sun. Yes, it's true that our bodies produce vitamin D in response to sunlight. But before you start planning a sunbathing marathon, there are a few things you need to consider. Many of us, especially those living in regions with less sunlight or working indoors, simply don't get enough sun exposure. And when we do manage to catch some rays, a multitude of factors can affect how much vitamin D our bodies produce. Clothing, for instance, plays a significant role. If you're covered up from head to toe, there's less skin available to soak up the sun and produce vitamin D. Then there's skin type. The more melanin you have, the pigment that gives skin its color, the less vitamin D you produce. Age is another factor. As we grow older, our skin's ability to produce vitamin D decreases. So while the sun is indeed a source of vitamin D, it's not always a reliable one. Now let's talk about diet. You might think, well, if I can't rely on the sun, I'll just eat my way to optimal vitamin D levels. If only it were that simple. While certain foods are known for their high vitamin D content, like fatty fish, egg yolks, and fortified dairy products, they can't provide the levels of vitamin D that many of us need. Even if you were to consume these foods in large quantities, which isn't recommended due to other health considerations, you'd still fall short of the optimal vitamin D levels. Finally, we come to health conditions. Certain health issues can throw a wrench in your vitamin D absorption process. For instance, being overweight can hinder vitamin D synthesis. The fat-soluble vitamin D gets trapped in fat tissue, preventing it from entering the bloodstream. Metabolic syndrome is a cluster of conditions including high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and abnormal cholesterol levels, and can also affect vitamin D absorption. Individuals with this syndrome often have lower vitamin D levels. Liver and kidney problems pose another challenge. These organs play a crucial role in converting vitamin D into its active form that the body can use. If they're not functioning optimally, your body's ability to absorb and utilize vitamin D can be compromised. The genetic factor. Recent scientific explorations have uncovered a captivating connection between specific genetic variations and vitamin D absorption. These variations, known as polymorphisms, can make us more prone to vitamin D deficiency. It's like having a party where vitamin D is the guest of honor, but the bouncer at the door, our polymorphisms, isn't letting it in. In a riveting revelation, a small-scale study found that every single participant had at least one genetic issue impacting their vitamin D absorption. That's right, 100% of them. It's as if everyone at the party had a bouncer stopping vitamin D from joining the fun. This discovery is a game changer. It means that even if we're basking in the sun or feasting on vitamin D-rich foods, our genetic makeup could be throwing a wrench in our vitamin D absorption works. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. No matter how much water you pour in, you can't fill it up. But don't let this dampen your spirits. This knowledge is power. Understanding our genetic predispositions can help us tailor our approach to vitamin D intake. It's like knowing the secret handshake to get past the bouncer at the party. While our genes might pose a challenge, they certainly don't spell doom. With the right strategies, we can overcome these genetic hurdles and ensure our bodies get the vitamin D they need. The verdict: is 10,000 IUs of vitamin D3 safe? All right, let's tackle the elephant in the room. Is taking 10,000 IUs of vitamin D3 safe? When you first hear that number, it might seem like you're venturing into the realm of excess. But let's put on our detective hats and delve a little deeper. Given the numerous hurdles our bodies face in absorbing vitamin D, from lack of sun exposure and dietary sources to certain health conditions and genetic factors, it turns out that 10,000 IUs might not be as over the top as it initially sounds. In fact, for some of us, this amount might be just the ticket to vault over those barriers and land in the sweet spot of optimal vitamin D levels. Now, let's address the T word: toxicity. It's a scary term, no doubt. But before you start envisioning worst-case scenarios, let's look at the facts. Research indicates that it would take a daily dose in the hundreds of thousands of IUs sustained over several months to reach toxic levels of vitamin D. That's a whole lot more than the 10,000 IUs we're talking about. The primary risk associated with vitamin D toxicity is a condition called hypercalcemia, an excess of calcium in your blood. This can potentially lead to kidney stones. But don't fret. This risk can be significantly reduced by staying well hydrated. So keep that water bottle handy and make sure you're drinking plenty of fluids each day. The supporting cast: nutrients that enhance vitamin D absorption. These are the nutrients that not only enhance vitamin D absorption and function, but also offer a protective shield against hypercalcemia. First up, we have vitamin K2. This nutrient works in harmony with vitamin D to ensure that calcium is directed to our bones and teeth where it's needed, rather than accumulating in our arteries or kidneys. Next, we have magnesium. This mighty mineral plays a crucial role in converting vitamin D into its active form that our bodies can use. Plus, it helps maintain calcium balance in our bodies, further guarding against hypercalcemia. Then there's vitamin B6 and zinc. B6 helps in the absorption of magnesium, making it a key player in this nutrient team. Zinc, on the other hand, has been found to influence vitamin D's effect on our cells, making it an important piece of the puzzle. Incorporating these nutrients into your diet or supplement regimen can help ensure that you're not just getting the most out of your vitamin D intake, but doing so safely and effectively. The blood test conundrum. When it comes to testing for vitamin D levels, things can get a bit tricky. Currently, there's no consensus in the medical community on what the optimal vitamin D levels should be. Most doctors agree that it's somewhere between 150 to 200 nanograms per milliliter. However, these tests typically measure the inactive form of vitamin D, not the active form that's actually being utilized by your cells. The vitamin D receptor resistance. Another factor to consider is vitamin D receptor resistance. Certain conditions like viral infections or autoimmune diseases can downgrade your vitamin D receptors, making it harder for your body to absorb and utilize vitamin D. In these cases, you might need much higher levels of vitamin D3 than 10,000 IUs. Conclusion: the sunshine vitamin revisited. So what's the takeaway from all this? Well, it seems that while 10,000 IUs of vitamin D3 might sound like a lot, it's not necessarily excessive. In fact, given the numerous barriers to vitamin D absorption, it might be just what some of us need to maintain optimal health. However, as with any supplement, it's essential to consult with a healthcare professional before starting a high-dose vitamin D regimen. And remember, while supplements can help fill nutritional gaps, they're not a substitute for a balanced, nutrient-rich diet and a healthy lifestyle. So keep soaking up that sunshine, safely of course, eating those vitamin D-rich foods and taking care of your overall health. After all, health is wealth, and you're worth it. That's all for today, folks. Stay tuned for more enlightening discussions on health and wellness. And remember, keep shining bright.